Hi everyone, I'm Kenny Lem and I'd like to read you a book I wrote. It's called Theo. It's a nice story about a little boy who's going to school and worried that he won't make any friends. This is a pretty typical worry, but Theo has a third eye, so he's really worried. Would you want to go to school if you had a third eye? Find out what happens. You can come back to these pages later to learn about the author, my dear friend Grant Gilliland, the amazing illustrator. Theo, written by Kenny Lem, illustrated by Grant Gilliland. Mom, I don't want to go to school, screamed Theo. Theo, you have to go to school so you can learn about all the interesting things in this world, replied his mother. I want to learn, but all the kids will make fun of me, answered Theo. Oh, they won't make fun of you, Theo, she said, trying to reassure him. Yes, they will. I'm the only kid who has a third eye right on my forehead. Well, if they make fun of you, then they're mean and they don't deserve to be your friends. But then I won't have any friends. Yes, you will, sweetheart, his mother said sweetly. You are very special, and if you are nice to them, they will be nice to you too. Okay, replied Theo nervously. I'll go to school to learn, and I'll just keep my third eye closed. I won't even blink. Theo got on the school bus. All the kids were talking and laughing while enjoying the bus ride. Theo kept his third eye closed, and no one even noticed it. That was easy, he thought, as the bus pulled up in front of his new school. The children ran into the school and down the hall to their classroom, anxious to meet their new teacher. Theo was right in front. They lined up in front of the classroom door. As soon as the teacher let them in, the children walked inside and each of them found a desk with their name already on it. Very quickly, they were all sitting quietly, with their little hands folded in front of them. Their new teacher walked to the front of the classroom and said, Good morning, class. My name is Miss Hannah. Good morning, Miss Hannah, shouted the children, bursting with excitement. We're going to get to know each other's names and share a little about what we want to become when we grow up, informed Miss Hannah. All the children smiled and couldn't wait to start sharing. The children began taking turns, introducing themselves and telling what they would like to become when they grow up. I'm going to be a professional wrestler, a student shouted. Oh, yeah, and my name is Billy. Hi, my name is Susie, and I'd like to become a doctor. It was Theo's turn. My name is Theo. When I grow up, I'd like to become an architect. He made sure to keep his third eye tightly closed. The entire class had a good time listening and sharing. Miss Hannah then explained the classroom rules. After learning the classroom rules, it was nap time, and the children lay down on their mats and began to yawn and fall asleep. Theo, along with Billy, was the first to wake up. Hey, what's that? Asked Billy. What's what? Said Theo as he sat up. That, screamed Billy, pointing at Theo's head. That thing on your forehead, it looks like an eye. Oh no, Theo had forgotten to keep his third eye shut when he woke up. He shut it right away and responded casually, There's nothing on my forehead. As Billy continued squinting and staring at Theo's forehead, the rest of the children began to wake up. Miss Hannah instructed the children to return to their desk and listen quietly while she read them a story. As Miss Hannah read, Billy poked his friend Kenny and whispered to him about what he had seen on Theo's forehead. Then Kenny whispered to Chris, and Chris whispered to Tracy, and Tracy whispered to Susie, but Susie didn't whisper to anyone. Susie just looked at Theo, smiled, and went back to quietly listening to Miss Hannah's story. No one believed Billy's story, so he decided to come up with a plan to prove to the other kids that Theo really did have a third eye. Billy began to come up with a plan to scare Theo at lunch. At lunch, Billy told Kenny and Chris to hide with them outside, behind the corner of the cafeteria building, in order to scare Theo as he walked by. Meanwhile, some of the other kids were eating lunch with Susie. Susie was always popular, sweet, and fun. She shared her cookies with her friends and always offered some of her extra lunch snacks to the kids who got yucky stuff to eat from their moms and dads. Susie liked everyone, and everyone liked Susie. Theo started to walk toward the corner of the cafeteria, where three little shadows were softly giggling and hiding. Boo! Yelled the three sneaky boys as loud as they could. Ah! Screamed Theo with his mouth wide open, like a huge letter O. All three of his eyes popped open as big as they could, just like yours do when you're really surprised. Ah! Responded the three naughty boys as they saw the third eye looking straight at them. Poor Theo picked up his lunch and ran to an empty lunch table. Everyone saw what had happened, and some of them started to whisper and stare. Some even pointed at Theo, who started to cry. But not Susie. Instead of laughing at him, Susie got up, left her friends, and sat down next to Theo. Hi, I'm Susie, she said, while offering some of her delicious homemade cookies to make him feel better. Hi, I'm Theo. Thank you for the cookie, he said as he wiped away his tears. I don't like being called names, and it hurts my feelings when they laugh at me. Why aren't you making fun of me? Aren't you scared of my third eye? Asked Theo curiously. Susie looked closely at his third eye and said, You know what? I'm sorry for staring, but I like your third eye, Theo. I think it's pretty cool. Being a little different isn't a bad thing. You should be proud of who you are. That's what my father tells me. Being who you are and different makes the world much more interesting. Theo and Susie began to talk and laugh and ate the rest of their lunch together. Some of the other children began to wonder why Susie was over there having such a good time with Theo. Billy, Kenny, Chris, and some of the other kids walked over and asked Susie why she was eating lunch with little three eyes. Theo is very fun and nice to talk to, not like you bullies and all the kids who are making fun of him, said Susie sternly. She turned to Billy and said, Remember how Pam used to make fun of you last year? Well, that wasn't nice, and you should know better to make fun of someone else. You cried for weeks. Some of the other children felt ashamed as they listened to Susie and watched Theo wipe the tears from his cheeks. Billy was the first to apologize to Theo. After that, the other kids came over one by one to say they were sorry too. Theo smiled, forgave all of them, and then showed them how cool his extra eye was. He showed them how he could look in two different directions at the same time. They thought it was pretty neat that he could look straight ahead with his regular eyes and look up with his third eye. He could watch an airplane fly by and see where he was walking at the same time. He told them that when he flies a kite, he can watch his kite and see where he's running all at once. Theo looked over at Susie and winked. She smiled and winked back at him. She knew that he was thanking her for being there when he needed a real friend. Everyone discovered how much fun hanging out with Theo was. He was nice to everyone, no matter who they were. School and lunch were fun for Theo all year long. Words of wisdom. This is a message about being proud of who you are, embracing differences, and being an ally to yourself and others. It's additional reading for you, so let's just call it homework. I do hope you enjoyed the story of Theo. Schools and even daycares have Theo in their library, and it's a great addition to any teacher or kid's bookshelf. It's available on Amazon, and I like to donate books to families and schools, so proceeds from Amazon sales will help me mail books to those that are not able to purchase them. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment. I'll be posting additional stories on this channel soon. Thanks for listening, be kind, and stay safe. Bye.